So at Mohegan Sun's Wine and Food Fest, Chef Brian Duffy.
What's going on?
How are you, sir?
Dude, this is my favorite event of the year, so I'm awesome.
Now, you are a busy man. You got Bar Rescue.
Bar Rescue for 3 years. I left it a couple years ago, yeah.
Okay. Following you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Tell me about Bar Crashers.
All right, so Bar Crashers is a new show that we're doing. Michael Tips and I.
Okay.
We have watched reality TV shows about bars and restaurants and nightclubs for
years. Been on a few.
Yeah, I've been on a couple. And the big deal about them is that they're all negative. It's always about the negative aspects of the bars. And there are so many great tiny little cities throughout the country that are doing amazing things that I hear people all the time say, well, my bar's in a tiny town like Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Okay,
Boundary Brew House.
Kentucky. Boundary Brew House.
Yep, you were just there.
And they crush it.
We actually did it on our TV show, Wicked Bites, and they had this great, it was like a stand-up fry thing.
Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about. The Fry Tower.
Which the funny part about that Fry Tower is a dish that I made when I did Bar Rescue in Boston.
No kidding.
So that's the whole idea behind it.
Which bar did you do in Boston?
We did Angry Hams in Framingham, Massachusetts.
LB's.
Yeah, that's right.
Lyndon Byers.
Lyndon Byers. And I'll tell you what, Lyndon Byers shook my hand, and his fucking hands literally swallowed my hand. You could feel every single punch that man made in every year.
And he made a few.
And he made a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
LB's the man.
It was a cool bar, man. But we did some fun, and we made some cool dishes. But, yeah, they stole that from there. And I love Jared. Jared's awesome.
Okay.
But I went in, and I'm like, man, this is my dish.
You got to love a bar like that that takes so much pride in the presentation.
Exactly.
They don't just, here's some fries. And you know what I mean? It's like, here's a tower of fries.
And Jared is really very creative. So Jared really wants to see a lot of cool stuff. And that's one of the things that we really focused on is that there's so many places out here that are doing a great mixology program or a great food program.
Yeah.
And if you get into these places, sometimes you find they have a great bar program and their food program may be struggling a little bit. So we'll focus on the positive of the bar, give you a couple of suggestions for the kitchen, but it all kind of ties together.
Where can we find Bar Crashers? So, where's it coming? Where's it going to be?
So Bar Crashers will come out. It's a web-based series that we're doing right now. We're going to premiere it at Nightclub and Bar in Vegas.
Cool.
So we have a huge program happening with that. Because the whole idea of it is it's actually being licensed by Nightclub and Bar.
Oh, cool.
Which was the idea for it.
Because
we want to go directly to the food and beverage industry.
Yep.
And there's another big thing coming out called Food and Beverage or F&B only that we're going to be running pretty soon as well.
Awesome,
so,
man.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you do Duffified Live. You got your podcast.
I do my podcast.
I was listening on the way up here, and are they really opening an In-N-Out hotel?
I read it in Eater, and that's what they said they're doing. I mean, Eater's a pretty true to form
Can I get the animal-style room? I mean, you're kidding me?
I have no idea. I don't know. It was kind of wild.
I love me some In-N-Out, but Jesus, man.
Well, how about how much they make?
Yeah,
the managers are making $160 grand a year.
I'm about to quit this and go work out there.
But I'll tell you what, one of the cool parts about that is they're fully invested in that business.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we're missing in our industry is really paying it forward and sharing it with the people that are working their asses off to be inside of our properties.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things we've got to start paying more attention to.
And even I would consider In-N-Out like a fast food type place.
Oh, yeah.
But they care so much about quality that they won't leave a certain region.
No.
Like that's the thing. Out here on the East Coast, I'm like, oh, I would love a double-double right now, but I got to drive. I think it's like Vegas is the closest.
Vegas, if I'm not mistaken,
might be the closest to Boston.
Yeah. Well, and so I watched them one year. I was in Fresno, California, and they had a drive-through.
Yeah.
And there's windows all along the back of the drive-through, and you can see the guys. There's two guys cooking in the store. And then there's another guy just cooking fries, but there's two guys. They're slapping their gloves on. They're dropping everything down. It's a great operation. They do a really nice job.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Duffified Live, the podcast. You can find it on all podcasts,
Everywhere.
iTunes, Google Play, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But what you made today?
Yeah.
The Bolognaise with the pork belly.
Yep.
Wow, man.
I try to do things that are like that people know. They know.
Yeah.
So people know what a Bolognese is.
Bolognese is safe.
It's a safe dish, but I wanted to do something that's a little different.
You didn't make it look safe.
No, I did a seared pork belly with it. I also did some dry aged beef shavings on the inside of it to intensify that flavor of it.
Mm-hmm.
Garlic and peas. I put Castelvetrano and Cerignola olives in it, and I use a really nice organic crushed tomato and an organic tomato puree.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds weird, but a lot of times the canned sauces and tomatoes
weird
you buy,
and delicious usually come together.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of odd, but the stuff that I'm using is a totally clean product.
Okay.
So there's no sulfites or any of the bullshit that goes into it.
Fair
so it's a
enough.
good, clean product. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And now we get to the meat of the issue, if you will. You're from Philly.
I'm from Philly.
We're from New England.
I got it.
What are you doing for the Super Bowl?
Oh, so what we're going to do is, I'm probably just going to hang out with my family.
Okay.
I'm on the road a tremendous amount, so when I get home.
Take some time downshift?
I'm home, yeah. I really
Nice.
try to chill out as much as I can.
What are you making?
I don't know. I'll be on the Today Show on Friday.
Okay.
So I'm doing a Philly style. I'm doing a Philly style sloppy Joe,
Nice.
but I actually use shaved beef in it, and I add cheese into it with caramelized onions and mushrooms into this like ketchup-y, sweet, savory dish. And then at the same time, I'm doing I call it a Philly dippy deviled egg. So I do a deviled egg with a really fine chop of bacon, and then I top it off with a dippy quail egg and a little piece of crispy scrapple on top of it.
Jesus,
So
man.
yeah, we do some fun. But in my house, you know
Lord.
what? I'll smoke wings and ribs, man. That's
you go.
exactly what
You're a
I'll
smoker.
do. Yeah, love them.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to smoke?
You know what? I use brisket, man. I love a good brisket,
Yeah.
but I do it weird because I sous vide it for 36 hours, and then I
Okay.
smoke it for 4 hours.
Wow.
So I do it that way, yeah. I do weird things, man. I do
Hey.
simple dishes, but, sous vide is awesome because you sear it, you season it, you
Right.
bag it, and you cook it at 165 degrees
Yeah.
for 36 hours.
For our big game show, I got to ask everybody, what's your go-to pizza? We do best pizza on Big Game Sunday.
You know what's really funny is there is in Penn Station in New York, there's a pizza place there, and they crush it. It's
Really?
awesome. If
Penn
I'm in
Station
Philly,
in New York.
Penn Station in New York,
Okay.
it's like, have you ever heard of Euro?
Yeah.
The sushi place
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Tokyo in the train station.
Yeah.
Similar kind of world, tiny little space. They just make great pizza.
No kidding.
The dough's awesome. If I'm in Philly, Vetri is the way to go.
Very
His
cool.
pizzas are beautiful. They're just tasty. So yeah, Vetri
Awesome,
does
man.
an amazing job.
Chef Brian Duffy, thank you very much, man.
My pleasure, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Cheers, dude.